And we're back at the Molybdenum Software Show. Did unsolicited and beginner friendly. Here's a screen. What just happened? Share screen. It's not asking me like the question which screen to share this time. It just kind of starts sharing the screen, but black. Do you see black screen?
With three purple sort of progressy spinner dot thingies, sort of ellipsis pulsing.
Share something else. Ooh, I think something broke. It's not asking me what to share. It's just kind of so.
Let me try pressing the button, see what happens.
Mhm.
Okay. Did that work?
Yes, that seems normal.
Okay. Start your browser. I don't know.
I will try first
See anything
restarting
in
the
the
browser.
system journal? Because on what's it called? Not X11, Wayland, right?
Yes.
There's some like pluggable system for these pop-ups that ask for user consent.
Correct.
Maybe that application's crashing rather than drawing a modal.
Yes. Well, let me first try starting the browser and then take it from
All
there.
right. All right.
I will quit my graphical session.
Okay. Good luck.
That was a reboot. Screen share.
Yay. Fingers crossed.
Same.
Oh boy.
Okay, we're on NixOS, so we can just revert because a couple of what was it? A couple of days ago, when did I had a recording of a full-time Nix episode with some of the Nix team members. I still have to edit that. And I was sharing screen during that session on this platform. That was
Okay. So you know things were working.
that was Monday. It was Monday, so I have a date. And well, I can't share screen now, but I'll share what I'm doing.
Sure.
But I did I think it was today, delete all the generations. So
Well,
I'll have to check out
you've
the
got your
list.
Git history, I suppose.
Yes.
All the generations, not just old ones.
Except for one.
Bummer.
That's okay. We'll just rebuild it. So looking at the log, I see something from Wednesday. On Monday, I bumped inputs, and that was before. But on Wednesday, I did bump inputs. Today, I bumped inputs. But I remember that bumping inputs today did not include Nix packages, which is the most likely culprit. And the bumping of the inputs from Monday was from before the session, before the known working. So between known working, I had only one bumping of inputs, one commit that I think might have made any difference. But if I show it, I will see that Home Manager, Nix Vim, TreeFumpNix, and Ucode Nix. That's not that shouldn't have any effect. So I will go even earlier in time. Monday. I have a bump inputs from Saturday.
Yeah.
I kind of want to. No, I don't. Yeah, I'll just check it out and build from there. See what happens and switch. Although I do have some changes after that that I do want, and I kind of feel they're important for even for this session. So if it works, I may. Let's first see if it works, right?
Yeah, I mean, we can track it down or figure out how to apply the stuff you need on top of an old version of Nix packages.
Deer is doing its thing. So now I'm checked out at that commit, which is supposed to be working, and I can do nhos boot or switch.
Are you asking or
Yes.
thinking? Well, without
Try
knowing what's
switch.
going on, I can't guess.
So it's doing a switch, and there's one. Yeah, there are commits that I want to. It'll be nice if we could add VM tests that could open a browser, make sure that the browser can share screen.
Yeah, that's probably possible, but oh man, I bet it's a lot of work.
I think doing Tiger Sprint, there was one guy working on that.
Oh yeah?
On NixOS tests. He called it NixOS tests, but that's sounds like it's taken. Term's taken.
Yeah. And it's like a NixOS test with a desktop environment, I suppose.
Okay. I also have NVD here showing me what versions are changing. I see the Linux kernel changing. I don't. Might be it. I'm skeptical.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's permit that. Well, if the kernel is the only package here that it seems like it might have any effect, then I may want to reboot as well. But let's try it Well, at least restart the graphical session. I don't know. Let's just hit screen share here. Okay, that's not a difference. I think at least just reboot.
Okay. Good luck.
Oh, oh,
Hello. Hey. You did it.
Wes, huh?
That's the beauty right there.
Okay. So let's go through the list of commits here. It's a very short list of commits. We are on 88BEA. So this is some nvim setting, won't affect it. This does not have Nix packages in it. This is just adding Nix output monitor to my path, so that won't affect anything. This is a bump inputs, but as I said, it was before the time here. This is my local time, so I know it was before. You know what? It's before, but I might have not rebooted.
Okay.
I might have not rebooted, so this might have brought. It's probably. I think I even remember that this is where I got the kernel, but I didn't bother rebooting. So what if I check out main? Wait, so what am I now? This one? It's a bit troublesome to. You know what? I can test it. I can test it myself later. It's kind of just tedious, and we have work to do. And every work that we'll do is interesting to the viewer. So let's do the work.
Okay. There is. I'm just searching Nix packages. Something from March that says update breaks screen sharing. This is XDG desktop portal. I don't know. Maybe not.
It's okay. I'll pin it down.
All right. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
That'll hopefully not be too annoying.
So here's a work tree for this, and I wanted to ask you what the timer room that you have.
Oh, in my PR tracker.
Yeah, please.
Big Pike 71. Yep.
Okay. All right. So if I do Opti open, that should open. Yeah. That. Oh, I need to dear env allow first. Opti open, and then that should open. Good. Okay. Over to you.
Dokie. Share screen. Entire screen. Okay. Crank down the resolution here. All right. Cool. Let's see if we can figure out what we were doing. Were we futzing with the Open API branch? Is that where we left things?
Yes.
Okay.
And we have a server a development server to play with.
Okey-dokey. Okay. And then we run this thing with util dash something, right? Util dash run API, I think. See what that does. Get a timer going. And here we go. Oh, almost there. All right, that's better. What do we have? Here is your 200, but in the body. Sure. Not found. Okay. And then we've got some other page that I don't remember. The name of. Oh no. Lights turn back on, please. There we go. All right. Health check. API lib. We put the docs at slash API docs. Okay. Slash API dash docs. Yeah, look at that. Not the slickest UI, but it is something we didn't have to build. Execute. Got nothing back. Oh yeah, there's your 200, but in the body. Lovely. And then here, 42. We should get like a 404 back or something. Yep. This is totally working. Then this is branches is landed in, has a branches attribute, which is an array of branch names. Okay. This kind of seems like it's working. You remember what was next here? Like, is this maybe just something we're ready to land?
Probably have something in the code I got to do.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look.
I see it. 30, line 30.
Okay. Yeah. There's that to do. And then we've got only 2 to-dos. The other one is data homepage. Okay. Sure. All right. How do we figure out the best paths? I think my only recollection is we did some research and there didn't seem to be any standard.
Yeah, it's arbitrary. The API itself is under API, but that's not visible here.
So, look over here to see that. Nope. You got to look over here to see that. Nope. I don't know what this is. Come on. API. Here. There it is.
I don't like that. What
Yeah.
if we remove the API from here and put it on line
So
33?
I think we've been there. Let's give it a shot, though. I think this will like work, but then generate the wrong docs. Let's see. Fresh. Yeah. So see how this lost the slash API?
Mm-hmm. That's configurable, right?
Maybe. Yeah, so now we get 4. Well, it's a little confusing because you'll get a 404 there. And a PR doesn't exist, but this health check shouldn't 404. Yet it does. Yeah, so I mean, it's probably configurable, but maybe at the expense of repeating ourselves, right?
Yes. Okay. Okay, fine. Put it back.
Yeah. It seems like that's probably a just decision to like, oh, well, actually, no, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
It's not a problem.
So, I mean, I'd be inclined to just delete this to do, but if you want to make a change, I'm down.
It just seems funny to me that for the API docs GUI, fine. There's arbitrary wherever you put it, you make sure that the user can find it via the README, the website, whatever. But the OpenAPI.json shouldn't is everything in about OpenAPI spec'd out except for where to find the darn thing?
Sounds like the answer to that is yes. But we can check again. It's been a while.
Yeah,
Like,
try asking Grok in that phrasing.
do I need a Twitter account to use Grok?
No, grok.com.
Wow. All these UIs look identical. Jeez. In what phrasing? I don't remember.
Is everything about OpenAPI spec'd out except for where to find the OpenAPI.json? Yeah. Yeah.
We did kind of lead the witness there, but they're agreeing with us.
This is left to the API provider who may serve the file at a conventional endpoint. Seems like a missing link in the theory of evolution there. OpenAPI.json at the root. Fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. 2 done. Great. Circ main Toto. All right. So this was going to be, right now we link to the health check, but I think we're going to basically just change this to HTTP that, get rid of the health check path from here. We don't use this anywhere else, so that's gone.
You'd have a warning if it's not. Oh, was it? Unless it was a pub use.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. It was pub, yes. Okay, And then that, when it started, would link us to a home page that does not exist yet. Go, opening it up. Not found.
Okay.
So now we need to build a home page. That's probably going to require us to flip back over
Or
to
redirect. It makes sense to redirect.
Sure. Just redirect to the Swagger page. Sure.
Temporary redirect.
Yeah, not a permanent one. Works for me. So that would be lib here. And it's going to be something like, I don't even know.
We're already nesting in root.
Yeah. So can you get away with putting another thingy up there?
Probably, right? It's like precedence.
Yeah. Let's find out. Redirect. Stocks. Okay, grab redirect examples. Nope. Bummer. Poem. Example. Now we're talking. Index. Where's this referenced? There it is. Route new at. Okay. So at get index.
Could probably be a closure there.
Okay, let's try it. At get, and then like that. Move temporarily. What is it?
You didn't get completion with it?
Not yet, probably because this hasn't been ported.
I think we're qualifying on poem here.
Boom. Like that.
I'm talking about the redirect because I see request and I see items that are not imported directly into scope.
Sorry. Where do you see
Yeah, that one,
items?
43 and
Okay.
44.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't bring redirect into scope. Yes.
Okay. I see. Sure. Goodbye. And was web, I guess. Okay. Moved. Fine. Give me a 302. 302. 303. See other and temporary. I don't know what the difference between 303 and 307 is. Do you? There are 4 different redirects here.
Nope.
Okay. Well, I think it's going to be 303
Try asking
or
Grok.
307.
Pretty smart. It knows a lot. It knows a little about a lot of things. You can say, what's the difference in short? I like the in short because the defaults are indicates the requested resources at a different URI. The client should use a GET request to retrieve it, regardless of the original method used for redirecting after a post to avoid resubmission.
Interesting. Okay, so if you want to redirect a post, you can do that with the 307. Neat. Okay. In this case, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
I don't know which one's a better default.
I think 303 because we know it's a GET.
Okay. Let's see other URI here. Hopefully it can be relative. We want /API docs. Talk about how to dry that up in a moment. Okay. So that is not happy with it. Poem endpoint is not satisfied. This get thingy.
Whatever GET returns is not does not implement endpoint.
Does not implement into endpoint maybe? Or is it complaining about the closure actually? Do I need to like?
There are two complaints here.
Okay, got it.
I think maybe even
I see
three.
3 red lines. Yeah.
Well, can you kind of switch between?
Oops. Where did that take me? Oh. Maybe that will help a little. No, I do not know how to get all of them other than this will presumably tell me, right?
It's one.
Okay.
It's one. It's not three
Oh, the
because
gaps are because of the virtual text. Okay.
yes.
Confusing.
I kind of
All right.
think the virtual text should not create these gaps.
Yeah. All right.
So it is whatever get returns does not. And take a look at and see what the trait bound is.
Path. No. App E. E must be into endpoint. And then E must also have a like associated endpoint that
E
is
endpoint.
static. Okay. Sure.
So this is. I think the difference is that we're using poem. This get is from poem get. So this is route new at. Is that the same? What?
Route new at. I mean, I can move this up.
No, it's the same. How is it not working? So what's the closure for? This doesn't need a. The closure should be the argument to. Is the closure the argument to get or the
Here's
argument
an
to add?
important difference. Maybe this hashtag handler is relevant.
Oh.
Like, let's start with this.
Yeah.
And then see if we can turn it into a closure.
But yeah, that's probably it.
And here we'll do
probably it.
Dex. Okay. Oh, maybe not there yet. Handler comes from poem. Tags error? Qualify as. Qualify as. Yay, we did it.
See also.
Thank you.
See other.
Okay. Great. And then let's see if we can inline that.
That's not. It's not inlineable.
Not possible because of the annotation or whatever this is called.
Yes, it won't work on a closure.
Got it. Okay. Let's see if it works. That did not work. Bummer. Sort of expecting that to work. Let me comment this out. If it's a conflict between those two thingies. Click. That worked. Okay. So those don't play together nicely. Bummer. What if I put this one second? Is it like last one wins? I also don't know what at versus nest is all about. That did not work. It does not seem to be the order that they're registered.
Nest overrides the at.
Maybe. Nest an endpoint and strip the prefix. Maybe that's all that that's about. Ooh, got a crash. Duplicate path. Slash star dash dash poem rest.
Well, if we nested it at API.
Yep. That presumably would work.
I think we should do that.
Okay. Do that. API. We're going to figure out how to make that work. Yep. That works. Why does this look correct? Slash API slash v1. Oh,
we have
because
API in both
we still
places.
have that there. Okay, so these aren't going to work, right? Like they're going to. Yeah, not found. Okay. Because the actual path is now slash API slash API.
Right.
I go to slash API slash API. Yeah, there it is. Okay, great. And then the fix for that is this. Maybe. Then the docs, the Open API docs are going to be wrong. The JSON. That doesn't work. If I go to like slash API slash v1 slash health check, that works. This fails. Oh, takes time to fail. Why does this return HTTP now? Why would that redirect us? Really? That should not happen. That redirect doesn't do what we expected.
Because it's a nest. Change that to an at.
Okay. Let's see. Start up, man. There we go. Not found. Okay. Love it. So that's a little better. This is still wrong. That works. Okay. So now we need to figure out how to inject /API into all of this stuff somehow.
Look at the line 62.
Okay.
No, that's landed. That's for landed specifically. So maybe
This is
line
health check.
60.
Yeah.
There's a prefix path, and there's probably another argument.
Okay. Sounds plausible. That's going to be documented in Open API. This will be POEM Open API. Okay. Docs.rs. POEM Open API. You want to look at, what was it? Open API. Okay. Attribute macro.
Mm-hmm.
Prefix path. May contain shared path parameters. Tag. Yeah, there's not another parameter for the thing we're talking about here. And this example here shows /v1. Sure does look like what we're trying to do to some degree. How does this actually get hooked up to the router? Does not say. Actually, no, I guess this one is really just truly at the root because there it is right there in plain English.
And
Okay,
these
what
are
else?
for each operation.
Path.
What we want is not for one operation, it's for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Wait, why are we seeing operation argument parameters here?
There's operation parameters, and then there are operation argument parameters. So I guess
For
that's
each
these things.
argument.
Not totally understanding this. Path equals
Above each
path
operation
method.
function within Open API. And this is
Oh, this is about documenting these things, right? So we're probably going to be seeing an
well, it would be
example
nice to see
soon.
an example.
There we go. So that's like documenting the header.
Yes.
I guess its name is token.
Okay.
Other stuff. Regex strings and uniques. It's very cool. Very cool.
Well, there must be a way to do what we're looking for. It seems to be to revert what we just changed. But that doesn't play nice with the rest of the routes, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And we're not documenting if we were to document everything, then we'd be fine, right? Is that what we need to do? To just nest everything under root and then put the homepage in, and as part of the API? Is that funny?
Oh, I see. Well, I mean, it
Maybe
seems
it can
weird.
be hidden from the docs using some attribute.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that seems weird, but you're right. I think that would solve the problem here.
It does seem weird. Isn't there a place where we configure the um what's it called? The Swagger?
Yeah, it's a
Swagger
good
instead of the
question.
API docs, Swagger UI.
Comes from API service. Maybe there's a parameter here. API title version. No, it's pretty simple.
Well,
So
maybe it's a
configurable.
builder pattern.
Well, nothing jumped out at me there.
I think
This
we
is
should take a
open
look at the docs for that.
API service. Summary
Wait, I'm
description.
confused. How is this Swagger at all? What is Swagger about this?
So the way we get the Swagger UI is
Right,
by calling Swagger UI on
right.
API service.
Okay,
What
so
we care
either
about is the
this,
JSON, right? We want the
but the,
JSON to have the right paths.
that's what's incorrect at the moment?
I think if we were to look at like this slash open API JSON, let's
Mm-hmm.
confirm. So if we go to like health check, yeah, there's no slash API here, right?
Well, maybe this can be correct where when there's a like a root level, oh, this whole thing is actually under
Yeah,
slash API.
sure. Yeah. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is this isn't a Swagger question. It's
Right,
a API service question.
you're
So I
right.
think these are the docs.
Okay, so let's take a look at these methods.
Yep. New API title version,
On the left,
webhooks.
you have a
Okay,
take a
great.
look on.
These are in a different order.
Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
These are alphabetical. Okay. Cookie key description. License new.
What is external document? I'm just curious. Add an external document. Okay.
Extended documentation. Yeah, very cool.
License.
Neat. Rapid Duck. Guess that's some alternative to Swagger. Server. Pens a server.
I think we're using this, right?
I can see us using that.
No, we're using spec endpoint.
Okay. URL prefix. There we go. All right. Your suspicion was right. A little annoying, but if this solves our problem, let's see. URL prefix. And this slash API.
What just happened there? Oh,
I just added URL prefix, but I had a lot of trouble doing it.
where's your formatter?
It's not formatted?
I don't know. Say I
It is
didn't.
formatted.
It is.
I mean, you see how I just added some spaces
Mm-hmm.
and saved. And,
Okay.
alrighty. Boom, baby. Boom, baby. Try it out. Love it. We did it.
Cool.
Go team.
Let me see what it
Okay.
looks like in the JSON. Just for education.
There it is.
Oh. Okay, it's not in one place. It's
Yeah,
in each
that
of those
seems
tracks.
reasonable to me.
Mm-hmm.
Why make this harder to programmatically consume than it needs to be? This isn't
Yes.
exactly for humans. All right, we did it. So we've got two pieces of dryness that I'm not sure we even want to do anything about, but one is the repetition here and here.
It's easy to
Yeah,
make these consts here and use them.
yeah. Shall we do that?
Why not?
Okay. Extract into a constant
Yes.
URL prefix. That's not going to be URL prefix. That's going to be like API prefix. Okay. And then API docs. We will not apparently get auto completion help with. Const
Maybe because it's
docs path equals slash API docs path, and here we go. Docs path. All right. I think we've done it. All right, I'm gonna rotate. Next. Go for it.
okay. That's not where. The fix. Also, I kind of forgot my key maps.
Did
I have a
you
key map
change
for
things?
changing.
Oh, you've been playing around with folding.
How? Where am I? The heck what kind of mode is this? What's di? What? I had a had a had a mapping. I have a mapping for toggling between these at the end of the line.
Oh, yeah,
There.
I got that one from you. Leader L for me.
But also, there we go. Why is it suddenly working? I don't know. It's the same. Okay. Fingers remember. Good fingers. All right. Shall we look at the diff now?
Do it. I think we
Seems
might
like
be there.
we have what we wanted. Is there any tests that we want to have for any of this?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know what sort of a test I would feel compelled to write here.
Here's cargo log. Whatever. Get past it. Cargo toml. Only change is adding polymer open API with features Swagger UI and whatever version. There are some import changes. There's health check path does not require a const now.
Yeah, it's also a different thing. Stocks path.
So the health check path is only. Oh, it cannot enjoy a const. It can't use a const there, I think.
I don't know. But we also don't use it anywhere, do we?
Well,
maybe just in tests.
Tests. Yeah.
Sure.
Just test. Okay. Const API prefix, let API service, API service new, and cargo package name, and cargo package version. URL prefix, API prefix.
Mhm.
This ends up not here, but in the API because it's part of the API, right?
What's part of that? Yes, the health check
The
is
health
part of
check.
the API. Yes.
Now, instead of this single landed, we have the API itself. We have also a home page that redirects to the docs path, and this here.
Oh, you can remove the to-do
To do.
at the end of the line. Looks good.
Okay. Redirect the other docs path. There is a nest. Why is it a nest? It's like literally a single file. Shouldn't this be an at?
Don't know.
It
I
should be an at.
don't think I really understand the nest versus at thing.
So, in terms
I
of
think it might be
so
about stripping the prefix. It's the only difference. So for stuff that's at the root, it might make no difference at all.
you think this could all be at?
Maybe. Maybe not the API one, because that one is not at the root.
This can be an at. This can be an at.
Maybe.
This can be an at. And you think the API? Not.
I think at versus
Oh,
nest.
something happens to the crackling from your microphone.
Oh.
Same.
Crackling right now?
Yes. It's like it got wet or something. Now it's good.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Good.
I was gonna say, I think the difference between at and nest only matters when the endpoint or the thing that you're sticking there cares about the path. So for instance, the index we just wrote doesn't care at all about the path, right? It just unconditionally redirects. But the like API stuff is itself actually another collection of routes. And so it needs to like do some routing, which involves looking at the path. And there's a difference between like /API, v1 health check, and v1 health check. I think the nest strips that API prefix.
What does it strip from what?
Okay, let me point at my screen while I make a wild ass conjecture, rather than just make wild ass conjectures without a thing to point at. Okay, so there is some routing implied by this struct here, right? Like this thing has multiple methods or functions or whatever inside of it, and like this is not the path that it handles. It actually handles /v1/pr, but that's also not quite right, right? Like from a user's perspective, the path is not v1/pr. It's actually /API v1.
It's a nested path.
Yeah. And so I think with the nested stuff, it basically says, hey, from this
You
thing's
don't have
perspective.
the code.
Oh, am I not screen sharing?
I changed those to be at, and then nest.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't actually run mob start. There we go. So my guess is that when you do something like nest, and then the router is like dealing with a path that looks like, you know, /API v1 health check. Nest, I'm guessing, says, oh, okay. Yep, that matches that. So now I'm going to pass this to the endpoint.
Got it.
And that would be useful if you wanted to like nest it in two different places, right? Like,
it strips the first argument from the path that it will be passed to the endpoint.
That's my guess. And
totally.
that's what I think strip the prefix means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So for
Sorry,
the
I've got to run to the bathroom. I'll be back later.
Go ahead.
Okay, I am back.
Cool.
I hear you. All right, we're good. Okay, we were looking at the diff.
Yes.
Okay.
Although after those at changes, we didn't test.
Oh yeah, good point. Okay. Let's do that. Oh, I see some commented out code, so we have more to do. Okay. Util run API.
It'll be easy to test those routes. One that redirects from home. I think we should be adding those tests instead of testing manually.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Wow, that's busted. That worked. But the /API docs. Oh, I bet the /API docs Swagger UI doesn't it since you could stitch it in at many places, it makes sense to me that you would need to strip the prefix, right?
What would be its what it okay. So it means it's like it's programmed to respond on root.
Exactly. Yeah. But like flexibly, so that it doesn't have to be root. You can nest it somewhere, and you could
I don't think it's
host.
flexibly. I think the flexibility is provided by
Yeah.
stripping. So
Yes. Yeah. That's right. I mean that like it's not looking at like the HTTP header that's coming in. Presumably, like there's some abstraction created by Poem here, and that's what I meant about the flexibility. There's some like probably possible to get the actual path the user requested so that you could do something like I don't know, a redirect or something, and or like print out the current URL and actually print it out accurately.
there is a way to make it inflexible.
Probably. Yeah. But the
So that
routing
should be Nest, I
infrastructure
suppose.
must have some like concept of like the effective path, or I don't know what a good word for it is. Anyways, my point is it makes sense to me that this would need to be nested. In this one, I bet it doesn't matter. I bet it could be at or nest. Same with this one. It could be at or nest, I bet. But then maybe the other thing about these nests is you can't have dupes, which I don't think is a problem for us. We're not planning to have dupes, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So why does Swagger UI even respond only on root? Why wouldn't it respond on whatever path?
Probably because it does routing internally to serve up like CSS and JavaScript. So it kind of needs to know.
Right. If it serves multiple, if it actually serves multiple, if it
Yeah,
serves multiple paths, then it needs the
exactly.
stripping.
Yeah. 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 If it serves multiple paths, or yeah, like if it does routing, like how this thingy here does routing, right? Slash health check versus slash PR.
Yes.
And we can prove that. We open up the network tab, load this page. Well, it doesn't. Or it does one thing, but this is like.
What did you find? I'm not following.
Well, I was just hoping to prove to you and me that this thing requests like CSS and JavaScript, but
It seems to be a single.
yeah, it's like a single HTML payload. So there goes that theory. But I don't really see where's the CSS coming from? It's just like,
It's long.
oh, really wide lines. Sure. Okay. So yeah, I don't know why it's inflex. Why?
Fine. Whatever.
It is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. Good
So I
enough for
bet
me.
we could get away with nest on all of these, but I don't really know what is preferable here. Certainly, like stripping the prefix where there's no prefix is not going to make a difference.
I think if we don't have tests, then it's important to think about it. If we do have tests, then it's not important to think about it.
So I agree. We can totally test this. And for these, we could have like simple smoke tests.
We already
like this
have
returns
for
JSON.
the JSON, right? That's the very first thing we started with.
That rings a slight bell, but it was so long ago. I believe you. We definitely have tests for the API. And then for the docs, I suppose we could like have a simple like assert that it returns a 200 with content type text /HTML. Like I could be down with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's add a couple tests. One for this one, we can assert that it redirects. And this one, we can assert that it's a 200
Break
content
it
type
first.
HTML.
Change the
Well,
path
it looks
to
like something's
root
broken. Change the path where?
of line 37 to like root and then foo. So the test fails.
Sounds good. The docs path, we can do something similar.
Yes.
Okay. And now test live API test maybe test open API. That's a nice simple one. So do we want to make a separate file for these two tests?
No, it can belong here because it's a redirect to the OpenAPI docs.
Sure.
Rotate.
Sure. Up next. Go for it.
Oops. Test OpenAPI. Test. Oh yeah, it's the name of the function. I think we made those test details. Pretty cool. So home page, redirect, response. Get the root, send await response. Assert status is, I don't know what the status would be for redirect. Is it okay? No, it's 307.
Yeah. Or did we choose 303, I think?
Third status. Redirect status.
Okay. Sure.
Oh, it's a constant, right? Status
Probably.
code. C.
Beautiful. Lovely.
Happened to the there's no
And if we
JSON
wanted,
here.
we could assert on the location header,
Response.
location response header.
Eek. There's a debug here.
Oopsies, that's embarrassing.
I'll fix it. Next, switch main. Can't do that. It's a work tree. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. This, that, this.
I hear JJ makes this sort of stuff nice.
What? Oh, the alternative
Yeah.
source control. VCS.
Well, it's like Git compatible, but a different CLI or something. I think one of its killer features is about kind of working on two branches simultaneously.
Oh, I know what's going on here. There isn't really a work tree there anymore. Let me fix that. Git cd. This fig. Checked out. Checked out. What does checked out mean? Because this is there, so it could. Oh, I know. The Git work tree there. List. Git there. List here. Git work. So Git work. Git there. Work tree. Remove. Basically here. Remove this one. It's a main working tree. In which main is checked out for some reason. How do we know that main is checked out here? I config. It's
Head.
work trees. Are these links? Work trees. So they're not. And it's not listed here because it's a main work tree. Head, that's it, you're right. Okay, how do I make this not main?
I don't know. Check out.
Let's look at a different one. Like, I don't know. This. Head. Oh, it's the same. It cannot be. These were not all. These were not all created as. This one was created bare. The others were converted. And even though it's created bare, it says that main is checked. I don't think this really has the same problem.
Yeah, I don't know.
Head, ref, head main. There's no way that this. Huh. Does this in its work trees have? It's only one. Makes sense. Obviously, I cannot check out anything here, right? Because it's a bear.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What if I delete this? That doesn't make sense. This is shared between all the.
All the work trees.
Yeah.
Yep. That sounds right.
Okay, let's try asking King Grok. I have a bear repository that was that was not cloned originally as bear, but converted to bear. And it seems that a branch is checked out there. That's preventing us from checking that branch out different work tree. Should not have a checked out branch or one tree. It's meant to store only the Git data without a working.
That sounds right to me, yeah.
The branch appears to be checked out in a bare repository. It's likely that the repository is in a mixed state due to how it was converted, causing issues when trying to check out that branch in a work tree elsewhere. Here's how to diagnose and fix it. Verify the repository state. Check the repository is truly bare. Git status.
Okay.
Bare status. It must be in a work tree. If you see a working tree or a checked out branch, the repository is not properly bare. Bare tree should return an error like, okay, that's fine.
Okay. Great.
Alternatively, check the config file. Look for core bare true. Oh, hello. Hello. Git config core bear true. Git bear config core bear true. Now can I go here and git switch main? Yes, I can. Well done. Well done.
So it did not have the bear config? I thought we looked at the config file.
It had false. It has core bear false. Now it has core bear true.
Okay. Got it. Okay, so that was an artifact of converting it to bear?
Yes.
Got it.
Improperly.
Okie dokie.
I think now we can rotate and you can do this. Remove that dbg on main. Commit that.
Yep. Is that on main? Why don't I see this OpenAPI.rs?
Maybe it's not. Like who says it's from main?
Okay, should have started with that.
It's literally OpenAPI, right? Like why would the
Yep. Okay, so that was a whole unnecessary adventure, but good that you fixed your bear repository to actually be bear. Okay, so dbg goodbye. Oh, we haven't even asserted anything here. Starts. Assert status is okay, and then this validates that it's JSON.
I think there's assert is JSON. Assert JSON. Assert something.
Where would you expect that to be? Like as a
Method on response.
Function?
There's assert JSON, but that equals
that's not
to
what we want.
Content type.
We could assert on the content type. That's a little different than the assertion we've written, right? This is validating that the response body actually parses as JSON.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't feel super strongly. Like this would make me. I'd be able to sleep at night with just this.
I think me too.
Like if this is generating invalid JSON somehow, it's like very much not our bug. And maybe if we get burned by our tools, we add this test or we elaborate on this test, but hopefully we don't get burned by our tools.
Also, a single string is valid JSON. It parses it JSON.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of JSON that's not.
All right. And then I'm kind of okay with this test rather than being specific about where we're redirecting to, but you tell me how you feel.
I would add it.
Okay.
Add the redirection. We will have another test here with the same path.
We will have a what? Sorry?
Another test here that shows that there's something at API docs path.
That there's something at API docs.
HTML served.
Oh, yes. So let's do that now. Test. What is this?
All these should
This is just a name of a test? Okay. So this is like
yes, it's the name of the function that'll be generated.
Did we write this macro?
Yes, we did.
Okay, that rings a slight bell. Yep, I probably learned about writing macros months ago and then haven't done it. So, I have been learning Rust for too slowly for too long. I need to like really, really learn it. Okay. Sync move get slash API docs, and then assert status is okay, and then assert content type text HTML. Boop doop doo. Okay. And then we got 404s because of the intentional typos we left over here. And whoops, foo. And now will the test pass? Not quite. Hey, oh, look at that. All right. A little gross. You okay with that?
Mm. I
Is that a
suppose.
yes or I'm thinking about it? Okay, yeah, cool. Not quite there. PR not found.
That's. Mm.
Can I see the test that we ran here?
You
Cert
said there was some
test.
commented out code.
Yeah, we did see that. Let's see if we can find it again. Oops, too far. Yeah, look at all this. Oh, we haven't implemented the error response stuff. And that's probably why we're getting the test failure that we're getting. Simple blah for blah. That is in. Oh, that's here. And the test we're getting, would it make sense? PR not found. That's
Yeah,
test.
found as an error.
Yeah. And then we want to see a nice human readable message, but we're not. Okay. That seems pretty plausible to me.
Uh-huh. So there's a 4PR error struct.
Hmm.
I think we talked
There's
about this, and you may have claimed that we don't really need a body. But I don't like changing behavior for no good reason.
still run API. So what do we get right now? If I do curl -i HTTP
I think we
blah.
get no body and some error code.
That's very hard to tell what it's doing right now.
Oh, it said the body is not found, right?
Like
But
landed.
why is the test not?
No, I'm just failing to call the API, I think.
Yeah.
Slash v1, right. We don't have, we maybe want to do that. Okay, so right now the body's empty, which is pretty confusing because it's really hard to tell the difference between this.
Oh, that's a good point, actually, isn't it? Like, did I get a response from the API or did I get a response about the API?
Yep. And that's where having a message that says PR not found would be very clear that you're at least calling the right thing.
But isn't there like, so like using 404 an anti-pattern in that case?
API endpoints returning 404s, I think, is not an anti-pattern, but it is, yeah, like nice for your API to return something that makes it clear that you're calling the damn thing. I don't think there's different
Hold the thought. I'll be right back.
yeah. Yep. Just return a body that makes it clear. Are these things used? So now, is this status relevant? Like, I change this to a 405. It does work. Okay, great. Why don't we? What is this error directive all about? Display attribute. Sure. We need to actually like. That's probably just what happens when you like debug the error or something. Impl poem response error for landed error. Hello.
Hello.
I'd read a Stack Overflow thread asking about this, and consensus is basically, yeah, use the 404 and disambiguate by putting something clear in the body.
Okay. Rotate.
Sure.
I didn't mean to be on main here. Happening here? Okay. Over here.
I don't
So this is
see
not
anything
enough.
yet.
My screen.
Yep.
My screen.
Love it. Much better.
This is for PR error. And we can like find implementations. There's a derive. And there's a from. There's a derive. PR not found. So it's not using the display of the error.
Right. Which is probably
It's
not
empty.
terribly surprising, right?
So we need to, but yeah, we can, we were using this, right? Is that the missing text on the? The test, I'll run the test.
Thought it was slightly different.
Let something in the commented out code here. That's a different error. How is this
Yeah.
working? This was never tested.
Full request not found. Which I think we see in the error directive. In the enum up above. Same file. Yeah, right there. So I think this is like if you were to debug the error or print the error or something.
That's a display.
You were to display the error. And what we need to do is
display is the
actually
trait
teach
that has
Poem to build a response body.
Yes.
And I think that's the commented out code below is like how we used to do it, or maybe our attempt to do it here, and we decided to come back to it later.
But this is something strange here, because why we have PR not found here is a variant of 4PR error, and we have a PR not found as a variant of landed error.
Yeah. So that's like us converting errors from like lower down, like our database layer, into our API layer.
Okay.
Right? Like, isn't
I don't remember.
Well, what crates do these two types come from? I think one type is up in the API crate, and the other type is down in the database.
This is
crate.
the store, yeah, PR tracker store.
The store crate, sorry.
But its implementation is of it's a conversion. This is a conversion from.
Yep.
Okay.
This is saying we got an error in the store. Let's turn it into an error to return to the user.
So we want to implement response error for landed error because Poem doesn't, give us. Poem doesn't do this by default.
Yeah.
The implementation. I mean, if we could just have derived response error, this makes sense.
Sorry, I lost a sentence there. Could you repeat?
If we could just derive instead, derive response error. Just like this error allows us to derive like we're deriving a lot. And deriving is common.
Sorry, I probably used to have some mental model of what the verb derive means in the context of Rust, but hashtag derive. Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
This is implementing a trait.
Yeah, got it.
Explicit impl block, impl for.
Okay.
Impl trait for struct. And this is derive the trait. And then it's more declarative and everything is in one place. And we are deriving a string for this variant.
Yeah. I have no idea what's possible.
We can cargo doc open. No, that we do want the depths. Oh, we have 1100 depths. Okay.
Yep. It's just software development these days, huh?
Poem. Poem. This poem. Poem. Wait, poem. Response handling error. I kind of want to search crate items. There are modules, but I want to search attribute macro. There's a handler here. In the module, there's error, and in error, there are no attribute macros. So this is not derivable. Fine. We need response error. We need to implement that.
Okay.
We can do that.
Let's do it.
No changes.
Okie dokie. Here we go. All right, I'm going to uncomment this code. Does not actually compile, does it? Okay. Where's this come from? Oops. Qualify as poem response, poem HTTP response. I don't know. Shouldn't it have done this when we filled out the block arms? Like if I comment this out and then say fill implement default members. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, poem response. Wonderful.
Default.
That's what I want.
Not implement missing members. I mean, this is a default one?
I don't see missing members here.
So this has a default. So when you do implement default, this method status is probably required because it has no default implementation.
I don't know.
Yeah. Status. So if you do implement missing members, that'll give you.
Okay, makes sense.
And then it means that there is a default. What is the default implementation? Take a look. I think when you do the implement default, it just pastes the default implementation for you.
Okay, I see. So we can see what it actually is,
and
which is
that is toString.
Uses status and does response,
toString.
self, landed error, toString, to response. Okay.
toString is pull request not found.
Okay, so you think this
even without this here, right? Yeah.
Okay, well, let's leave it into response. Why won't this even compile?
I think it has to do with what traits are in scope. But I think you can comment out as response.
Well, I want to stick a print statement in a moment, but I can leave it commented out for now, I guess. So let's get this happy. Well, okay, I'm also confused because we are using this.
We are implementing the wrong
directive, right? Like we want the OpenAPI docs to know about these status codes. So this we shouldn't have to do, right? If we're doing this, then it's gonna we gotta carefully keep it in sync with this code.
It's a poem response error, and that's what we are deriving there is API API response. Not response error. Not response.
Let's get the code to compile again. Yes, we are deriving API response from POEM Open API Drive.
So I think when we add so I think that actually probably derives more than. Sorry for not speaking clearly. I noticed that there was a conflicting implementation when we had
This code down here.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
and that if we look at that conflicting implementation again, we will probably be smarter.
Okay.
But only when it works, probably. Okay. Does it already say a conflicting implementation?
I never saw that, so I don't know what changes I need to make to get that to appear.
Scroll up a bit or look at the list of errors.
Oh, this right here. Okay, got it. Yep, got that. Conflicting implementations of
From. It's conflicting of from.
POEM error.
Of from landed error, which is that for poem error. I think we may want to remove this derived. I'm not sure. I'm confused about this. Deriving is preferable when you can do it, but
Yeah.
maybe so. This is from poem, right? API response.
Specifically, it's from POEM Open API Drive. So,
Yes.
and it's the reason we can do this hashtag OAI thing, right?
So can we look at this derive? Maybe it can allow us to also, provide the.
I think that's a good question. I don't know. API. What was it? API response. Okay, great. Lovely. Thanks, guys. Okay. What was it? OAI status. Does not show up in this file. Right? So parse macro input. Input as derive input. I don't know. I'm rotating. Up next.
Cannot say I see an obvious intention here.
What was I trying to do?
No, how is it meant to be used?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that OAI directive has some sort of like payload callback or something you can give it. Like a body or a response or yeah. So I just want to know
Fortunately,
what
we can
those.
see that immediately in the editor.
Yeah. So what are the valid things here besides status?
I'm sure that's in the source code somewhere.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating.
Yep.
But let's go back to those docs. What can I say?
Mm-hmm.
Poem error. Common error types.
I think it's going to be in a different crate, right? Poem derive something. What's the name of the crate?
Poem OpenAPI derive. Where is it though?
Poem OpenAPI derive is the name of the crate.
Searching. I'm not finding it. Why am I in poem here?
Well, here's the link to where we were.
Poem. It's you know, it's not here. Is it?
I don't know
How's
why.
it not here? How did you like if it's in our dependencies, it should be here, right? So like, how did you get there?
I already had
Did?
docs.rs open,
Here.
and I searched for it.
Poem OpenAPI derive, and we're not building the docs for this.
I don't know. But I shared a link to that page if you want to.
OpenAPI. Sorry, I feel more convenient doing this.
No worries.
Am I? Do I? Docs. Where's the doc? Here
we are. And then API response, the derive macro, which has a whole lot of nothing useful in it, other than a link to the source code, which I guess is how we're going to answer this question.
Or look at the Poem OpenAPI
examples.
Yeah.
Okay.
This doesn't have a derive. I mean, so derive. This has its own derive macros. Is it like just a that's why, because it's like a re-export. But if we API response, and here we get some docs. The docs are in this crate that re-exports. Yeah, that's possible. Okay. You can do that. You can add docs when you re-export an item.
Interesting. Okay. Fascinating. Header display. Win convert boolean. Display equals yes. Display equals true. That'll do. Oh boy. No. What? Macro parameters. Header. Does that go with the derive API response? Is it like comma display equals true?
Yeah. There's no these don't take arguments. This, however. No, sorry. There's a. I'm just missing something. Derive. Example.
Hey, there it is. Just like you were doing. Hashtag OAI. See the next one? Example extra headers.
Oh.
Yeah. Hashtag OAI. Display equals true. Yay! Then is that code down below still? You can delete or comment it out.
I think what's going on here though?
Hey, this is just, we need to get rid of all this. We don't want it. think that might do it. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. No. Failed. Damn. Thought we'd found it.
I think it's not far. Display. Converting a response to an error. The error message comes. Like custom bad request handler. No, add an extra header. Item parameter. Status range, content type, actual type, header. Header parameters? Extra header parameters. We're very close.
Yeah.
Hey, how come the display wasn't there? It's not searching in display. What? Or oh, okay, yeah, there is no example with that. Rotate.
All right, this is going to be my last rotation. Got an early day tomorrow. Let's see if we can figure this out. Mob start 7. Okay, go away errors. Display equals true. Now, what if I set that to like 42? That still compiles? Really? No. Okay, good. It definitely understands what we're trying to do here.
And it is this error which derives.
So how do I find these docs? I have to go up to Poem OpenAPI?
Yes.
Look for API response.
Any chance this is a derive order thing? Derive.
Maybe.
That sounds. Let's see, how does
I
that
don't
work?
really understand what response. What does it mean to convert a response to an error? I was
think
thinking
it's
we were
the
converting errors
inverse.
to responses.
I agree. I think it's a typo.
Okay.
So there's all these derives. We can see what it expands to.
Okay. Let's do it. What do you do? Like, code action?
Rust expand macro.
Rust expand.
Or yeah. You have that? Rust expand macro? Rust
I just
macro
have Rust
expand.
expand.
Maybe
which
it's
then gives me
Rust 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 LSP macro expand. It's an argument to that. Expand macro. Don't you have completion?
Aha. Okay, great.
Yeah, you just have to do it on the right macro.
Doesn't seem to be doing anything. No macros under cursor.
The derive is certainly a macro. Maybe you have to pick one. Go to the API response.
Aha, smart man. Okay, great. Okay, here's that conflicting implementation from landed error for poem error. Error message equals toString of amp. What is this? Rest, which is a landed error. Okay. So do these things toString in the way we expect, the way we want them to?
If I understand this error correctly, they do.
Hmm. And then if I said display equals false, are we going to see something different? Oh, look at that. Now the error
None.
message is none for all of them, huh? Okay. The display definitely has some effect. Wonder if there's like... The fact that the generated code looks like this implies to me that there is... Right? It's not just unconditionally setting the error message to none.
It's conditioned on that boolean.
Well, but what I'm saying is, if display was false, the code could just be like, let error message equal none, right? The fact that the generated code has this structure, to me, implies that this is config. These parts can change.
The implementation was, in one case, you do have to like generate the code that matches on the variants, and in another case that you have to generate the code. It's just how it was implemented. So probably just an arbitrary choice.
Well, but see, this way doesn't have to match when you have display equals true.
Oh, no, you're right. So it's like, in a way, it's like strangely implemented, but maybe there are other.
Or it's indicative of the fact that there is some way to control. Like, there's some other parameter we don't know about yet. Would be my guess.
We read the docs.
Well, I don't know that we looked at every option, I guess. But, like, this toString thing should definitely work. So, I'm just distracting us with another possibility right now. So,
Are we testing it correctly?
That's a good question. Let's do a curl command.
Needs to be.
Yeah, there's no body there. We would see a body. Like there. There's the body. Rest landed error. Okay, so how do I print one of these things? Something like print bang
dbg
landed error. PR not found. And then I'd like to try to use this code on the left-hand side here. Since I'm not knowledgeable enough about stringification.
ToString is just what happens in you can call you just can call it as a method ToString. But you don't have to do that because that's the default for if you do print line.
Oh, okay.
And put it in.
Why is this so hard? Okay. There we go. Right, reference. Okay. So we expect to see pull request not found printed here.
Don't even. Yeah.
Got to restart the server.
That that explicit ToString call is not necessary because that's what happens when.
Okay. I'm just saying.
You put it in those curlies.
I believe you. I'm just trying to write like, because I don't know anything about the stringification rules in Rust. Nothing got printed.
This is implementation of from PR non-positive.
Yeah,
and that
which is why I typed in a negative number there.
Got it.
Oh, but I bet it's not even possible to trigger that because we probably have higher level enforcement of that.
Parsing.
Yeah, like the way we've declared the parameter or something. Okay. I still can't get the damn thing. What the
Well, there's
hell, man?
a different position to stick that in.
Yeah, so I did. I put that here now.
4PR error. Try print line. I don't even know what print is. Maybe print without a line.
Oh, okay.
Or
Thank
try
you.
DBG, which is
There we go. Yep. Okay. And so that didn't teach us anything at all. Thank you for going on that adventure with me.
sure.
Rust, LSP, macro. Rust, LSP,
Expand.
expand macro. Thank you. Oh my gosh. There we go. Error message from response. It's like calling into response on some string, turning it into an error, calling error.set error message, which only happens if it's like pulling the error message out. So we like built a sum right here. And there's the value. And we like get our hands on it and call it error.set.
Yes.
I don't know. This code certainly looks like it would behave differently than what we're actually seeing happen.
Maybe we have some explicit implementation somewhere that's overriding this, but I
Okay.
I can't imagine where.
Man.
Said this was going to be your last rotation, but you didn't specify how long it will be.
Oh, time's up. Okay. All right. I should call it a night. I guess we'll figure this out next time. Very annoying. I'm next. All right. Well, it's very close, and now we know where it is at least.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, be well.
Bye.